What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Good morning. My name is Linda Jurgen, and it has been my pleasure to serve as your worship associate for the month of October. If you have been looking for a congregation where your beliefs are respected, your griefs are comforted, your joys are celebrated, your children are taught about ours and other religions, your concerns are shared, your reason is honored, and your need to serve others is fostered, then perhaps you have found your home. Welcome to Tapestry, a Unitarian Universalist congregation. This month's topic is reason, so today I'm going to tell you the reason I first came to Tapestry. 20 years ago, I really needed to find my people. And I found them at the Women's Wisdom Circle at Tapestry. It's a group that met once a month and included women in various age groups. Some are still members here, and others have moved on or passed away. I was inspired to talk about this by Charlotte Clark, who at our women's lunch this month told us how important women friends have been to her through the years. And then I thought of this group, who were so welcoming to me when I first arrived. Every month we had a topic, and we admonished each other to keep private what happened in the group. What is said at our wisdom circle stays in our wisdom circle. So I can't tell you the good parts, most of which I don't even remember. Wendy Washington brought a Lakota Indian talking stick, which each of us took in hand when we had something to say. We talked. We danced with scarves. We made leather pouches or medicine bags, which we filled with treasures. We went on a retreat up to the mountains where Lois Huddlestone was croned. We had a sleepover at my house where we made drums. I served the two vegetarian women who were our teachers plain sliced slabs of tofu. You see, I found out about vegetarianism at the same time I did Unitarianism. The group provided an opportunity to share rather deeply, and for me, a chance to loosen up, to not live so much in my head, and to participate in activities that I would have considered far out or kind of hippy-dippy. So today, I thank you, Susan Rao, Wendy Washington, Lois Huddlestone, Lori Williams, Carolyn Cosrud, Sheila Raymond, Penny Kinnear, Linda Carpel, Elena Wise, Nancy Knipe, Betty Elliott, Deanna Hoyle, Charlotte Clark, Judy Tracy, and others whom I have forgotten in my advanced age for being a member of the family I have chosen. If you are your Facebook user, be sure to check in and tell your friends what a wonderful congregation we are. Now, please take a moment to turn off mobile phones or other bleeping devices that might disrupt our worship time together. Also, to help maintain a contemplative atmosphere, please hold your applause until after the postlude is finished and the service is completed. We are a welcoming congregation, and we extend a warm greeting to any newcomers. We invite those of you who are visiting for the first or second time to stand up and introduce yourselves so that we might have a chance to get to know you. Okay, this coming Friday night, October 30th, we will have our first ever Saw-Win. That's Sam Wayne or whatever. Saw-Win. Saw-Win. Say it again. Saw-Win. Yep, that's it. Celebration. You have all received an invitation on Facebook. We will have a dinner with chili, baked potatoes, cornbread, caramel apples. There will be a bonfire and a drum circle, bobbing for apples, cornhusk doll making, and general revelry. Wear costumes if you wish. Say goodbye to the light and welcome in the dark part of the year. It's a fundraiser, so it does cost money. Please come and dance around the fire. Susan Deering will be taking reservations after the service, if you haven't made them on Facebook so far. Okay. We are a busy congregation with lots of activities. You can find information about everything coming up in our order of service or on the website. Our various groups and events reflect our vision of becoming a transformational home for liberal spirituality in Orange County and beyond. And now, Greg Klein will light our flaming chalice, the central symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. Each morning, we must hold out the chalice of our being to receive, to carry, and to give back. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to the community, and to each other. Now, please join me in saying our covenant, followed by our song of affirmation. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law.
I apologize for my giddiness this morning. It's not often on Sundays that I have Princess Leia and Iron Man and Brides of Dracula and everything else you can imagine running around out there. So it's a very fun Sunday. We're here because we believe what we do matters. We're here because we believe how we live our lives matters. That with every act of kindness or meanness, courage or fear, love or hate, we're weaving a fabric of the universe that holds us. We're here because we need encouragement, because we need strength. We're here because none of us is perfect, but together we inspire one another. We're here because we've felt the stirrings of love and grace in our hearts and hands, and we crave more of that for ourselves, and not only for ourselves, we crave it for everyone. Welcome to our time of worship. Welcome to Tapestry. I want to invite you all to stand if you're comfortable doing so, and join in singing our opening hymn, number 360, Here We Have Gathered. Every Sundays we gather, we bring with us the sorrows and celebrations that make our lives what they are. Some celebrate those by lighting a candle in silent recognition, and some write a note to share. This morning there's only one note to share with you. It comes from Sue Deering. She says, "My friend Sherry, who has battled pancreatic cancer for a year and a half, is now in hospice. Please keep her in your thoughts." We will do that for sure, Sue. For that concern and for the other joys and sorrows in our midst, would you join me in reading our congregational response? For your joys, we join you in celebration. For your sorrows and concerns, may you feel our compassion. And now I want to invite our young and young at heart to come join me up on the carpet for a story. Come on down.
Are you a guide? No, I'm saying you can go around the other one.
So, this Friday night, we're having a new sort of party here at Tapestry. You all are very clearly aware that Halloween is on Saturday, but on Friday, we are going to celebrate Samhain or Samhain, which is sort of a pagan festival of the fall. So I wanted to read you this story about a girl named Aisha, and because it tells a little bit about her adventure about Samhain. She says, "Tonight is Halloween. My family and I walk up a hill by our house, and we're headed toward the park, where we'll meet all of our friends for the Samhain ritual. It's Samhain, the witch's new year, the time when the old year is dying and the new year is born. I don't want to go this year, though. I didn't even want to leave the house. My mom told me, 'Aisha, I know you're sad, but it will be okay to be sad there. Just come with us, even if you don't really feel like it right now.' So I'm walking to the park with everyone. I wipe tears from my eyes and pull my jacket tight. Everyone is in costumes. I see everyone here is as well. My mom is dressed like a giant bird. She loves to dress in silly costumes. My dad does too. He wears the same jester hat every year. It even matches his shoes. My brother is dressed like an elf. He's been singing all day long, very loudly. I don't want to sing, though. I don't even want to get candy. All I want is Millie. She was the best dog in the world, and I want her back with us. Until 2 weeks ago, Millie would run to the door and greet me every day when I'd get home from school. She'd flop onto her back and roll around for me to pet her tummy. And she would know whenever I was sad or scared, even if she was in the other end of the house. She'd hurry and come lean on me, and then she'd just sit there and smile until I felt safe and warm. She was almost 14 years old, but I still thought of her as a puppy. When she died, we buried her under a tree in the backyard. We call it Millie's tree now, and I've cried every day since. I've been sleeping with her collar and a favorite toy, and I'm bringing those with me to the ritual tonight for Samhain. My dad walks over and puts his arm around me while we walk. I realize that I've been holding Millie's things very tightly in my hands, so tight that my hands are in fists. So I loosen them up and put an arm around my dad. We walk up to the park on this chilly, crisp night, and my best friend Heather is with her mom, and she sees us first. They run over yelling, "Happy Samhain!" and give us big hugs. My brother runs around everyone singing, "It's Halloween, it's Halloween, run and dance and yell and sing." He sings until Heather picks him up and spins him around in the air, and they both laugh. And there's a bonfire by the clearing in the pond. We're actually going to have a bonfire here too. There are people playing drums, we'll have drums too, and flutes, and calling everyone to form a big circle around the fire, and people dance and sway the way while the ritual begins. And a woman dressed all in green stands at the north corner of the circle. She says, "Spirits of the north, spirits of the earth, that which makes our bodies grow strong and our food rise from the ground, be here now." And people come forward and put their special things on the altar facing the north. My mom puts sunflower seeds on the altar in memory of her dad, who loved the garden. I think of Millie's tree in our backyard, and I want to put Millie's things there too, but I can't stop holding them tightly. At each point in the circle, someone calls one of the 4 directions. "Spirit of the east, of air, strong storms and gentle breezes, come clear our minds." A woman facing the south speaks loudly and excited. "Spirits of the south, of fire, creative flickering flames, come be with us tonight and set our spirits free." Hi. And a man dressed in blue stands facing the west. His voice is deep and clear. "Spirits of the west, of water, of running streams, still lakes, and powerful ocean, be with us tonight as we cry, as we laugh, as we grieve, as we celebrate." And Heather's mom, Tara, walks over and places a beautiful blue necklace on that altar at the west. It's in memory of her grandmother, who used to live on an island. Come to us, come to us, come to us, we all sing together. People all around the circle begin to call out the names of the ones that they want to honor tonight. Blessings to Saradwin, a faithful cat. Blessings to Kate, to your sparkling spirit. And Millie's name catches in my throat. I feel a little silly saying her name in front of so many people. But now people are calling out wishes for the new year. May you have strong roots like the trees. May we protect our precious water. May our love bring healing to this world. And I think about how much love I felt sitting with Millie in my lap. All I can think to wish for is having that feeling back. Slowly, everyone finishes calling out their wishes, and the circle opens at one end, and we spiral in one giant spiral, singing and looking into each other's eyes. And I notice tears in a few people's eyes, and I don't feel quite so silly. When we're all wound up together in our spiral, people drop hands and dance, and I move to dance with them. Eventually, everyone thanks the four directions, and the circle opens up. We hold hands and yell, "Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again." They go to share food and play games and celebrate being together. Even though I know there will be candy for all of the kids, I stay behind. And I go and sit in front of the center altar and stare at Millie's things that I had placed there. I sit by myself. "Thank you," I say to Millie. "Thank you for having been our dog. Thank you for being so much fun to play with and for always knowing when I was sad. Thank you for trying to follow me onto the bus that day even though you weren't supposed to." As I say thank you to Millie, I begin to feel safe and warm instead of cold and sad. I begin to feel tons and tons of love right down to my belly. And a huge sigh lets out, and I lean back on the cool grass. In a few moments, Heather comes running back over, and we go and climb a tree to eat our candy in the branches. The warm love in my belly heats me all up, and it makes me all excited and silly, just like Heather. So we scoot down to the lower branches and hang upside down from our knees, laughing as loud as we can. So later that night, after the festival, guys, can you? Okay. Later that night, as we're walking home from the festival, my brother rides on my dad's back, too tired to sing anymore. I have Millie's things tucked safely into my pocket, and I take my mom's hand and we walk in silence. All of us full of magic, love, wishes, and candy. So I hope that you all will join us this Friday so we also can be full of love and magic and wishes and candy by the end of our festival together. Have a good, and you're going out for fun times and games. That's awesome. I hope you have a great time, and we'll see you in a little bit. This morning's reading comes from the Reverends Bill and Barbara Hamilton Holloway and Reverend Mark Harris. It's called 10 Good Reasons for Joining a Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and it really kind of summarizes my sermon, so I could just leave it here. But it says, number 1, because here we join with open hearts and minds to worship together, seeking what is sacred among us. 2, because here we're a part of a long liberal tradition of reason and tolerance, of hope and liberation. 3, because here we honor our Jewish and Christian roots and also reach out to know the great truths found in other religious expressions. 4, because here we acknowledge that revelation is never sealed and we empower ourselves to search for new truths. 5, because here we nurture our children's enthusiasm, indeed, and encourage their questions. 6, because here we welcome diverse people and views. 7, because here we join our strength with others to create more just society. 8, because here we respect the whole self, mind, body, and spirit, working together. 9, because we encourage each other to be our true selves. And 10, because here we build a supportive community that eases our loneliness and opens our heart. Here ends the reading. Last week, during the time for sorrows and celebrations, I shared that Matt Brideson's brother had died suddenly. That was a slightly edited version because our children were still with us in worship. I want to clarify, Matt's brother killed himself after losing a job and a long struggle. It's important that we not shy away from the dangers of depression and suicide, or the pain and complexities that touch the lives of our friends here at Tapestry. Matt and Eric and Ashlyn are traveling this week to attend 2 different memorial services of a family that's very fractured at the moment. So during our time of meditation, we hold them in our thoughts and prayers. And I also invite you to remember the times of joy and celebration that you've carried in your own heart into Tapestry's sanctuary with you over the years. As we sit together in silence, let us acknowledge all that this community has held in this sacred space together. Let us join together in silence. Amen, and blessed be. Many Tapestry members find it difficult to explain what it is you do on Sunday mornings. As a religious minority, as people who generally spend time in socially liberal circles, it's not easy to explain that you're part of a religious community. Believe me, I know the feeling. Last weekend, I presided at the wedding of an old college friend of mine. I knew most of his family. At the rehearsal dinner on Thursday night, though, I met the family of my friend's partner. We were chatting, getting to know each other's role in the wedding party, because there were family members there and best men and old friends and different speakers. It was mentioned a couple of times that to this particular aunt that I was doing the wedding. And finally she asked again what my connection was, until her husband said, "He's the minister." The first thing that popped out of her mouth was, "Really?" Now, to be fair, I was enjoying a margarita, and my pants had a very subtle polka dot pattern to them. Even though it had been said 2 or 3 times that I was doing the wedding, it just didn't sink in that I was the minister. I tell you this story because if you think it's difficult to explain that you go to church, try explaining as a young gay man that you're the minister of one. This Sunday, I want to talk about some of the reasons that we participate in Tapestry. They may resonate with you. You may have your own reasons, but some of us, a lot of us, spend a huge amount of time and money supporting this community. It's important to be clear about why we do that. It's important to be clear for ourselves and so that when we talk to other people about Tapestry, we can speak from the heart. Now, many Tapestry members will tell you that they come here for a sense of community. That's mostly what Linda was talking about. It's probably the number one reason that folks give. Throughout our lives, we need community for different reasons. As young adults, we often get transported to a new area, to Orange County, for a job. And after school, we find that there isn't this ready-made group of peers that we had as classmates or in college housing. Outside of school, getting to know new people, connecting with new people is quite difficult. But this is one place to do it. And lots of us come to Tapestry later in life as well. Some of you are retired. You no longer have that instant community that comes along with a workplace. Some of you moved a great distance to retire here in this beautiful, sunny, wonderful place. But that can be really isolating to make that kind of journey. And a handful of our members have lost a spouse. Some very recently, some several years ago. But when you lose your other half, you need to be around people just to reorganize life. And this is a good place to do that. And, believe it or not, parents with young children come here for community. And it seems a little bit ironic that these households that are bursting with humanity need community. But they do. Parents want their children to be an environment that reflects their beliefs, and these parents want just a little bit of time here and there to be with adults outside of work. To focus on something other than spreadsheets and deadlines or diapers and dance practice. Orange County is not the easiest place in the world to make connections, especially if you're a religious and political minority. Tapestry is one very good place to establish deep and lasting relationships. Community is the number one reason that people come here. Tapestry is more than being with like-minded people, though, I hope. Just as much as it offers a friendly, safe haven, it also challenges us to stretch and to grow. In fact, I would say that's kind of part of our mission, to stretch hearts and minds. I know I've told this story before, but I think it's a wonderful one. The Reverend John Wolfe, the minister emeritus at the church that I grew up in, made this point in an amazing way. During his candidating week at that church, the week where he was sort of interviewing and they were deciding if they were a right fit, someone asked Reverend Wolfe if he was a theist or a humanist. And he told them, that depends. If you're a theist congregation, then I'm a humanist minister. If you're a humanist congregation, then I'm a theist minister. Our mission here is not to be all like-minded in our beliefs. Our mission is to build a community where we encourage truly different beliefs. I hope that some of us come here to have our minds and hearts stretched as well. Now, beyond diversity of beliefs, we also have this amazing energy across generational divides, and I honestly think that Tapestry does this better than any other congregation I've seen. In today's world, it's a rare gift for children to have a full set of elders who are not their parents. It's incredibly rare. And most of us as adults who don't have kids of our own or whose kids have all grown up, this is a rare delight to hang out with these little curious balls of energy. Children are good for the spirit, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that children are good for the spirit even if you don't enjoy them. Being around people who have a different experience reminds us of the full spectrum of human life. It invites us to explore beyond our own little world, and that's a priceless, rare gift. The Reverend Karen Stoyanoff is fond of saying, "Don't come to church to find the people you love, come to love the people you find." I'm going to repeat that because it's quirky. She says, "Don't come to church to find the people you love, come to love the people that you find." I don't think it's quite such an either or. I think we both come here knowing that this is a progressive faith community. And we come here grateful for the opportunity to encounter opinions and experiences that challenge what we already know. Tapestry stretches us, and it's a great place to experiment. Try singing in the choir. Try helping out as a teacher in a classroom. Try being an activist. Try the book club. Try meditation. It's a beautiful, low-risk opportunity to try a whole lot of different things. Or just try being truly present in a community that celebrates difference. The opportunities for growth here are many and they are deep. Now, the language of being saved is very uncomfortable for many of us, and it doesn't fit with our liberal religious tradition. But if we're going to talk about reasons for our religion, reasons for supporting this congregation, we need to talk about people being saved. Communities like ours literally save lives. In my short tenure as a minister, I've worked to remove 3 people from really deadly situations of homelessness. These weren't random people that I encountered on the streets. These were members of Unitarian Universalist communities. And I'm not patting myself on the back. This is the work of a congregation supporting these folks. You may not see it. You may not imagine yourself in that situation, but I promise you, it's very real. Our congregations from time to time literally save the lives of members of our community. And our work outside these walls saves many other lives. I know this is dramatic language, but it's not an exaggeration. A small group of Tapestry members have saved asylum seekers from incredibly dangerous circumstances. Our friends of Orange County detainees have helped at least 10 asylum seekers. It's probably more like 15 at this point. These are folks who have traveled a great distance from their country of origin because their life was threatened there. As soon as they cross the border, they're put in a detention center here in Orange County for a few months. Then they're released in downtown Santa Ana, usually late at night. They have little or no money. They often have no government identification. They have no food or shelter or understanding of American culture, and some of them don't even speak English. This is important for you to know. A small handful of women here working with Friends of Orange County detainees have stepped up to feed, clothe, and house the most vulnerable people you can imagine. They deserve incredible praise for their work. But this is also our work. This is our community saving the lives of people in Orange County. It's nothing small. It's nothing to be shy about. the place that you go on Sunday mornings that confuses your friends, the one that you have a hard time explaining to coworkers and neighbors, cares for some of the most vulnerable people in Orange County, the people that the government, that homeless shelters, and other churches have absolutely nothing to offer. Your spiritual home saves people's lives, literally. And though it may make you squirm a little bit, it also saves souls. Our theology is a message of hope that carries people through some of the most challenging times of life. For me, it's this soul-saving work that has kept me, that actually first hooked me into liberal religion and has kept me there over the years. Like a lot of people, college was a major transformational time for me. Through my education and through coming in contact with people whose experiences were different from my own, I learned about systematic oppressions. I learned about racism and classism and exploitation of workers. My eyes were opened to some of the nastiest and scariest aspects of human greed. Until then, my experience had protected me from a lot of that knowledge. But in college, my eyes were opened, and at the same time, my heart broke open. And I found solace in a small church called Community of Hope. It was a place where I could go and be brokenhearted. And there aren't many places in the world that you can show up with a broken heart and be welcomed. This was one of them. I was able to show up with a broken heart and slowly hear a sincere message of hope. A couple of weeks ago, this short reading by Reverend Rebecca Parker came across my desk, and it's been rattling around in my brain as a simple and powerful summary of Universalist theology and hope. She writes, "Even when our hearts are broken by our failure or the failure of others cutting into our lives, even when we've done all we can and life is still broken, there is a universal love that has never broken faith with us and never will." Our hopeful message saves souls. A Unitarian Universalist church actually saved my soul before college. As a youth in Oklahoma, the first adult person that I told I was gay was the director of the youth program at my church. While my peers were scared to death that their churches might find out that they were gay, that their parents would disown them, and that God would punish them mercilessly, I knew that the safe place to turn was my youth group. And that one conversation is only a short symbolic moment of what being a part of a Unitarian Universalist youth program meant for me and my peers. Church was a place that I could go and be myself, or at least begin the journey of understanding that there was a self there to be. It was a sanctuary for self-discovery in a really complicated time and place. It was the place that I could experiment with different ideas and be real and make bad fashion choices and listen to rebellious music and begin to date. And it was a safe place for me to do all of those things that teenagers need to do in a way that was available nowhere else in town. But it wasn't just there for me. It was there as a safe place for my peers, both gay and straight, that also needed a place to be whole, real, complicated, insecure, loving, curious teenagers. I will always be grateful for that. For better or worse, some things in life don't change all that much, actually. We all need space to try on different identities. We all need space to bring our broken hearts, our passions, our hopes, our dreams. We all need a place that nurtures our growth as human beings, from 5 years old to 105. Even when we've done all we can and life is still broken, there is a universal love that has never broken faith with us and never will. Religious community means different things to different people, and not all of you are going to have all of the experience that I did, but I hope that some of you will have some of the experience that I had. On November 8th, that's just in a couple of weeks, we're asking you, each of you, to bring a friend to Tapestry. And I know it is awkward. That's why we're going to practice. I've talked today about some of the biggest reasons for religion, but I want you to get comfortable understanding what your reason is. What do you find here? Why do you dedicate your time and your money to this place? Is it the music? Is it coffee? Is it a place for your family? Is it the sermons? Is it religious education? Is it the justice work? Is it community? So I want you to find one or two people sitting next to you, not the person that you came here with, but someone else, and answer two questions. First, why did you first come to Tapestry? And the second question, if you've been here for more than a year, why have you stayed? We have very little time, so make this quick. Find one or two other people and tell them why you came here first and why you stay, and listen to the answer from that other person. Go. I know you had some good reasons for being here, and I really hope that they're a little better formed than they were when you dragged yourself out of bed this morning. And you wouldn't be here if there wasn't a good reason. In the next 2 weeks, do you think you can share that reason with a friend or someone that you know? The key word to that request is share. We know that generosity is a virtue. We work really hard to cultivate generosity in our children, and most of us either give what we can or we wish that we were more generous people. I want you to think of sharing Tapestry as an act of generosity. Not evangelism, not conversion, not argument or a sales pitch. My goal for today is for you to leave here knowing that your Unitarian Universalist faith, your community here at Tapestry, is something that has significant value. And it's something worth sharing with other people. Amen. I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward to collect this morning's offering. As they make their way, you may remember last week we mentioned that we were doing a special collection for Syrian refugees through the UU Service Committee. So this Sunday, any cash that you put in the plate will be split in half. Half will come to Tapestry, half will go to the UUSC to help Syrian refugees. If you'd like to write a check just to help UUSC, you can write a check directly to them, that's UUSC, and write Syria in the memo line.
We extinguish this flame knowing the light remains in the warmth and compassion of our hearts until we meet again.
Would you take the hand of someone near you for these short closing words? We all have two religions, the religion we talk about and the religion we live. It's our task now to go and make the difference between those two as small as possible. Go in peace and let the light within you be a blessing to the world.